Atomic Monsoon. Welcome to the Monsoon.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Atomic Monsoon. My name is Andy, and I'm blowing everyone's ears out.
What?
Exactly.
Yeah. Welcome to this Maelstrom of Pop Culture discussion. Along with me, as always, is our lovely co-host, Stephanie.
Hello, I'm Stephanie.
And our other lovely co-host, Josh.
Oh, I'm lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we have a whole bunch of crap to talk about to you guys today. Who wants to go first? Oh, I want to go first. I want to make a quick correction from our last episode. Last week, we all got sick and didn't record an episode the week that we released episodes. So all of our content was from a couple weeks ago, and we had said, hey, we all wanted to see the Happytime Murders, and it was from people that may have worked at Jim Henson Productions, blah, blah, blah. Turns out that movie actually was from Henson Alternative Studios, which is a branch of the Jim Henson Studios. So we wanted to correct ourselves before anyone yelled at us and told us that we were loud and wrong. The movie, in fact, is directed by Brian Henson, who directed, Muppet Treasure Island and Muppet Christmas Carol and Muppets in Space and basically all of the 90s Muppet everything. So, hey, we were wrong. We admit it.
Well,
and we're big fat jerks. So, sorry.
And now we're all healthy and we're not sick no more. So there's that too.
Right.
Well, I mean, mentally, yes, but
physically sick, we're not anymore. Mentally, the cord is
it's
still
always
out.
debatable.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Josh, you had some cool Xbox stuff,
let's
right?
let's talk a little bit of video games today, guys.
Yeah.
All right. I want to start out with something that I think is fantastic because I've got friends and family that have disabilities, and Xbox has come out with something called the Adaptive Controller.
Ooh.
And what it is, it's basically a controller that you can plug a bunch of different things into, and it allows people with severe handicaps up to minor handicaps to be able to play video games with something that allows them to do it, depending on if it's something where they got to blow into something or if they're missing a hand, or something they can just use, whatever disability they have, they can use it to play any video games. It's a really, really neat thing that they're doing.
Rad.
It's completely modular. It works for people from literally any kind of disability. You can use this thing. And they've been testing it in like children's hospitals and stuff, getting it developed, and they're doing really good with this. And I think it's something that's really speaking for Microsoft as a whole, like that they're concentrating on something like this to put out for people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of people like to rag on them for not having as many games as PlayStation or PC and things like that. But I think that there's a give and a take. Like they might not have as many games, but they're doing things like this to get other people to play.
That's true.
And and say what you want about Xbox or Sony, any of those kind of companies, everybody's got their own opinion, and hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. This is something I think is really, really neat that they're doing to help out the less fortunate to be able to enjoy something that they want to do.
And I think it's great because I think we're finally in like a day and age of technology where a lot more technology is being built for those that do have any type of any kind of handicapped.
Yeah.
Like if they have a handicap, there's probably been something now that's developed that's probably going to help them live their lives a little bit easier and a little bit better. And this is great because now this will make them, be involved and actually play video games with all their friends in school and or at work or whatever.
And it's nice because I have a friend of mine that he was in an accident. He lost most of the fingers on one of his hands, and he was able to play Wii like crazy because he could literally just strap something to his hand and be able to use his thumb. But when it came to like Xbox and things like that, it's hard for him to use the newer controllers, and his motion controls went away. That kind of made it harder for him to be able to play a lot of the newer games that came out and stuff like that. So I know he's crazy excited about this controller because he's actually be able to just use his one hand to be able to do a lot more than he could before. And he can, with Xbox, something else that they've done before they put this out was they did this thing where you can actually have two controllers that will control one thing, to where it's like if you got your kids or something, they don't quite know what they're doing for video games, you can help them out and play. But it also helped with handicaps. This is something he was doing. He'd have two controllers on there, and he'd be able to just hold the one and do his thing and be able to just slap the other one with his thumb if he needed to.
Yeah.
But this makes it a lot easier for him because he has full control now. He can actually use the right stick at the same time he's doing other things because he's got that control where he can use his entire hand to do it with more than one surface. So
That's incredible.
When you were telling me about this the other day, I remembered that my cousin had a friend named Maddie, and poor Maddie was just born without hands. Right. And so he had four arms and there was just nothing at the end of them. And so this is the early 90s when I knew him. But he used to play with the arcade sticks because that was the best he could do, So he had his arm on the gumball top joystick, and for the Sega Genesis at least, the particular joystick they had the large ABC buttons.
Yeah.
So he could hit those with pretty good accuracy with the other arm, but yeah, with just he had no hands, right, and therefore no fingers.
Yeah.
So it became very difficult for him to play video games and join in whatever any of us were doing, but it was cool that okay, there was something that was kind of close, and he got really good considering his handicap. And I haven't, I don't know what happened to him. I haven't talked to the kid in 25 years. I hope he's still okay. But something like this would be, I would imagine, would be great for him. Something.
Yeah,
because
it's neat. Some of the promotional videos that they've been putting out for it are people that a few YouTubers that are handicapped and things like that. They gave them controllers and say, hey, try it out, see what you're doing, and they put out videos showing them play games like Killer Instinct against somebody that can use a normal controller, and they're beating up on the person playing Killer Instinct. That takes some serious control to do.
Yeah.
It's not just tap a couple buttons. No, I can't even play Killer Instinct.
Right.
It's a tough game to play.
Yeah.
And just seeing these guys pick up those adaptive controllers, or not even pick them up, be able to use those adaptive controllers and just start playing a video game, it's really impressive. It's something
absolutely.
I got to give Xbox a lot of kudos because that's a really neat thing that they did.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. That's cool. That's very awesome. So I'll go ahead and tangent here. So keeping it with the video game information, there was some news that was released that Disney Channel is coming out with a reality game show series called Nintendo Switch Family Showdown.
Okay.
Where families will come on and they'll literally be playing games like Mario Kart and Sonic and whatever other games that are going to be available on the Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be a big video game contest on Disney Channel.
Interesting. Is this like the old Nickelodeon show?
Nick Arcade?
Yeah, I wonder if this is what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
It's possible. I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see where this goes because I know that, Andy, I know you have a Nintendo Switch and everything. And so I know that there's people out there that have Nintendo Switches. So it's very interesting that Disney's teaming up with Nintendo saying, yeah, let's make a TV show where we just have a bunch of families get together and do this.
Disney and Nintendo, I don't understand how they haven't been working together
before.
Forever.
Right.
It's a match made in heaven. It's strange that they haven't been.
Yeah, Nintendo definitely feels like the Disney of video games.
Yeah, very much so. And it's odd that they hadn't teamed up as much before.
Yeah. Stephanie, I don't know if you remember Nick Arcade.
Barely.
Okay. Yeah.
Barely remember Nick Arcade.
So for you and any of the listeners that don't remember the thing that Josh referred to, and there was actually a show in the 80s called Starcade that was very much the same concept.
Yeah.
It was kind of a trivia show like Jeopardy or Double Dare or whatever. But if you... So Nick Arcade specifically, you had there was a character named Mikey that they would control around the video board, and they'd be like, "Oh, we want Mikey to go left," and the little cartoon character would walk to the left. And sometimes it would be like a video challenge, and you'd have to go play from a bunch of different. They'd have an arcade set up on the side of the side of the hallway, and so
with unique games too. It was all games that were designed specifically for Nick Arcade. They weren't it would be like a Space Invaders type, but it wasn't actually Space Invaders. It was a specific game made for Nick Arcade.
Well, so there were both, right? Because it was to determine who would get the control at the beginning of each round. They would have a not Breakout or a not Pong or a not Space Invaders. But then when the arcade challenges would come up, they actually would be playing like Sonic the Hedgehog or King of Monsters or I don't think Super Mario Brothers ever made it on, but it was whatever was popular at the time. That it was coming out, and they would always have can you get 17,000 points in 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
So if that's what this Disney Nintendo Switch Family Challenge, whatever it's called, that would be cool because people have been clamoring for the return of Nick Arcade since it went off the air in the mid-90s.
Yeah. It's true. I based off the article I was reading, it doesn't sound like there's a lot of information out. It might be coming out later this year.
Sure, yeah.
And it's probably going to be, it's probably going to be like some of the other Disney shows that they've tried doing that are kind of more reality-based. Mm-hmm. Because I think Nick has actually done better in that field than Disney has. Sorry, Disney, but it's true. You do better on with ABC. Stick with ABC for that. Yeah. But I think this one might be interesting because it literally just sounds like two families are going to be pitted against each other in a game of Mario Kart.
Like Double Dare with video games?
Pretty much, yeah. Something kind of like that. So it sounds like it's actually going to be kind of an interesting, fun show to watch. So
Can I just stick in right here and just say how happy I am that Double Dare is back on the air?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
I
loved that
I
show.
don't have cable anymore, so I have been I've had to search the internet to find to find videos, but it's so much fun watching new episodes of Double Dare. And the fact that Mark Summers is still there as the host just makes it feel more real.
I don't think it would have been as accepted if he hadn't been there.
No,
because when they tried it for that Double Dare 2000 about 20 years ago, it didn't work.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because they changed too much of it. They're like, oh, let's make it Double Dare, but it'll be sleek and futuristic and like it's the year 2000, and some other guy that's not not Mark Summers, and I mean, it was fine. It was what's up?
Was it Pick Boy?
No, I don't think so.
The Nickelodeon superhero for like 10 years on Nickelodeon.
No.
Okay.
No. Before him.
Okay.
No, and like it was fine. It was still Double Dare, but it didn't feel correct. And this new version of Double Dare, because there's kind of the retro movement going on in general design, it is the old Double Dare set just with LED screens instead of like the old CRT screens and the old like LCD scoreboards and stuff. So
nice.
It's updated, but in a way that it still looks and feels like Double Dare.
Oh, awesome. That means I can go get slimed.
You could? Yeah.
I want to go get slimed.
Yeah, I think there's age restrictions, but if they bring my family Double Dare.
I can bring my family.
Yeah.
Look at a family in
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have any other video game news?
I have 2 bits of video game news, but let's stick with the Switch for now.
Okay.
A company called Inky Pen has started developing an app for the Switch that should be launching in November. For $8 a month, you will have access to basically a digital comic library. And it'll work both in handheld mode on your Switch and on in the dock modes on your TV. And so far, IDW, Valiant Comics, Dynamite Entertainment, Humanoids, and Andrews McMeel Comics have all decided to put their product up on this app that'll be coming out. So
that is cool.
$8 a month for it looked like unlimited comics reads.
That's neat. Is it going to be current stuff and old? Do we know? Or
they haven't really said. But I mean, even if it's older stuff, IDW has been around for
a while,
almost 20 years. Valiant, I don't know. I mean, their relaunch was 2012, and if they include their 90s stuff as well, that's
a ton of reading.
Even if it's just the more modern stuff, right? Like there's still, I don't know, like 12 ongoing Valiant comics at any given time.
Yeah.
And I'm not familiar with Humanoids or Andrew McMeel Comics, and Dynamite just has a huge back catalog of all kinds of licensed stuff. So just between those three, right? And $8 a month is the price of 2 comic books. So,
like 1.5 anymore.
Well,
it's the $5 price
depending
point
on
stuff,
depending on who you're buying from. But I buy all of IDW's Transformers comics, and they're generally $3.99 a piece.
Yeah.
So having access to, like, hey, I didn't really get into their G.I. Joe stuff, or I haven't read their My Little Pony comics, which are supposed to be great, right? So hey, if I'm paying $8 a month anyways, I'll check them out. I'll see if they're worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
And like I know people are gonna be like, well, Comixology Unlimited is already doing that. I was like, true, but this way it's on my Switch, which I'm already bringing with me everywhere.
Which is always something I never understood why they didn't have a Comixology on the DS.
Right.
Like, I always thought that was weird because you have a built-in audience right there.
Yeah.
But no, it makes sense they're doing this on the Switch.
Yeah. So
maybe Comixology will jump on board once they see them making some money for that.
Possibly, yeah. So it's Inky Pen, INKYPEN.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye out for that and see
Yeah,
how it goes.
well,
Maybe see if any of the big 2 end up.
Yeah. Hopping
on there.
Hey, even if Just Image jumps on there, right? Like that's
true.
still another huge catalog of stuff.
Library there.
Yeah. So.
Especially if they throw in their Top Cow stuff as well.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm definitely going to check it out. I'll do at least a month of it when it launches in November and see how it is, and let you guys know.
All right, look forward to hear more about that then.
So what's your other video game and news?
So the other one, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's a thing that I tend to. Well, there's a lot of things that I refer back to from the late 80s and early 90s, because that's when I was a kid. And one of the big games that I used to play with the handicapped kid Maddie was Streets of Rage on the Sega Genesis.
Yes.
Right? It was an old beat-em-up game in the style of the Ninja Turtles arcade games and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it was, you played from a few different characters, and you were all just going around beating up millions of bad guys, and at the end of the level there was a boss that was 3 times the size of everyone. And
sounds like a typical video game.
Right,
Okay.
right, yeah. Well, so Streets of Rage 1 came out in, 91? Streets of Rage 2 was in, 92 or 93. Streets of Rage 3 was in 94. And about a week and a half ago, Streets of Rage 4 got announced.
Oh.
Which makes me excited because I haven't played a new Streets of Rage game in 20 years.
Yeah.
24
Did they announce what?
Oh,
Is it going to be
wow.
on all the platforms?
So they
or no?
haven't announced an official platform or release date yet.
Okay.
It is made in conjunction with Sega, but it's made by I should have written down the developers. It's a couple of other companies, and they've been doing a lot of really cool remakes.
Okay.
And updates to other games and stuff. But this is the most well-known franchise of the ones that they've worked on. Wonder Boy. They just did a remake of Wonder Boy as well.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Which a lot of people have had really good things to say
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Okay,
I've got
cool.
the demo downloaded on my Xbox. I haven't gotten to try it out yet. but I'm
Okay.
looking at
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So the developers of that are developing this.
I believe it's Wonder Boy.
Okay.
Sounds right.
Yeah. It's the
who knows?
graphics are updated. It looks like hand-drawn animation, right? Because they can do more with sprite graphics now than they could in the 90s. So far, only 2 characters have been announced. It's Axel Stone and Blaze Fielding, who are two of the... They're the only 2 characters that are in all of the Streets of Rage games. But they have... I read an article today that on Polygon.com, and they said that there are more characters promised to come.
Nice.
Which is
Makes
cool
sense.
because one of the things that was cool about the first Streets of Rage game is there was Axel, who's the white guy, Blaze, who's the girl, and Adam, who's the black guy, and the 2 they brought back were the white dude and the girl, and so none of the other minority characters are represented, which is a little weird.
That's probably just...
Yeah.
Here's a couple screenshots. I'm sure they're going to be adding.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It would be weird
Right.
if they didn't add all the classic characters back in.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. And there's I have a lot of not white male friends on Facebook, and there was quite a bit of blowback immediately from
Yeah.
so it's cool that they're doing this, but where's Adam? Where's Skate? And I was like, where's Max, the big wrestler dude?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll bring those back
I'm
in
sure.
there, yeah.
I'm sure that they will.
Yeah.
But the fact that I was glad one of the things I was looking up right before we started recording. I was like, has there been anything announced? And it was announced 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Finally, it was like, oh no, there will be more characters. Like, all right, good.
Yeah, it's not like they're dealing with the old graphical limitations and memory limitations
Right.
of the NES cartridges.
Right.
Like they can have 30 characters in there and be just fine.
All
Right.
the characters.
Yeah. I mean, one of the games had a kangaroo as a hidden character.
That's
So you just
awesome.
run around beating people up as a boxing kangaroo, which was great.
So you Kangaroo Jack?
His name was just Roo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I think it was the same year that Kangaroo Jack came out.
Man, I really wonder what happened in the 100 Acre Wood if Rude became a boxer in a video game. Sorry, I had to set it up.
That was perfect.
So,
That's all I've got for video games. Anyone else?
Yeah, a little bit. A game came out this last week. You might have heard the character that's in it, Spider-Man.
Who?
Came out on PS4.
who's
Yeah,
that?
I think I've heard of that guy
Yeah,
once or twice.
anybody once or twice?
Is he related to Star-Lord? Sorry.
They are both named Peter.
Yeah, this is true.
Hi, Peter.
But it came out. There's a little bit of controversy the week before because people were saying that there's going to be a graphical downgrade from some pictures that were released from pre-review copies and stuff like that. But ended up being just hogwash. The game is beautiful. It looks fantastic. Everything
Cool.
I've read and seen about it so far, it makes it look just like an amazing game.
Sure.
It looks like a ton of fun. So if you got a PS4, definitely go check that game out right
Nice.
now.
All right.
And the last little bit of video game-ish news. It's kind of video game news.
Okay.
Nerf and Fortnite have teamed up, and they're going to be releasing Fortnite-themed Nerf blasters in 2019.
All right, look, I know I already need to go out and buy all the Star Wars themed ones. I don't need to go and buy all the Fortnite themed ones. Now, see, I don't even play Fortnite, but I've watched friends and video gamers and YouTubers play Fortnite, and I've seen all the crazy weapons that they have. And hearing that Nerf is doing this is that's stupid crazy. I will buy it.
Yeah, it's looks like they're going to be a lot of fun. I haven't gotten to see very much about them yet. They're going to be releasing more information as time goes on. But
Cool.
I mean, it's Nerf. You can't go wrong with that. Fortnite's a lot of fun. It's very comical, so they should make for some fun guns to actually put out there.
Yeah.
So watch out for those. I'm surprised they're not releasing them for Christmas season. That was shocking to me, but they're coming out in 2019. So.
Okay.
all right, well.
Timing is a thing. If they only signed the contract a couple weeks ago, there's not time to manufacture
Exactly.
stuff. It is glad that I am glad that if Fortnite is going with anybody, they're going with Nerf, because as you should remember, it's Nerf
or nothing.
nothing.
Yup, it is Nerf or nothing. So,
On a separate note, I got a little bit of TV news. I don't know if you guys
TV.
are fans of it or not, but the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Okay.
it's going out for another season, and they actually released today that they're going to extend that season from the original, I can't believe it was 10 or 12 episodes, up to 18 episodes for this next season.
Okay.
So they're getting a decent extension of episodes on
Getting
there. So,
basically an extra half season. For and it's the final season, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% certain on that, but it was brought back after being canceled, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
But they got a
Neat.
full 18 episodes on that, so a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine fans out there that are super happy today.
Very nice.
So I will be the jerk in the room that says I don't watch a lot of TV because I'm too busy playing video games and reading comics from the 90s. I mean, Double Dare when I can find an episode is the exception. But I haven't watched any Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But I remember all of my social media feeds the day that it was getting canceled. Like the day it was announced it was canceled. It was just filled. Like, you know how right now a lot of your social media feeds are just filled with news about politics?
Yeah.
Yeah, not that day.
Yeah,
That
just
day was
Brooklyn
all
Nine-Nine.
people just sad that Brooklyn Nine-Nine was
That
canceled.
was my Facebook feed too.
Yeah.
Just feed after feed of Terry Crews dancing.
Yeah.
Or the main character doing something stupid.
Yeah.
So-
But good news, everybody. It's still coming back. And it's coming back
Getting-
for more than you expected it to.
Yeah,
So you're
that's
getting some
cool.
bonus seasons
That's
or
cool.
bonus episodes there. So
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
So, Andy, you got any TV news? Because I got nothing.
No, TV and I are generally not super great friends.
Well, I got another one here for you. Though,
Yeah,
for
well,
TV
there you
news.
go.
Today, Iron Fist season 2.
Oh.
on Netflix.
Okay.
Getting some good reviews so far. Haven't gotten to watch it yet.
Sure, 'cause we've all been at
don't
work.
have that much time yet.
Right.
But I will be binging that this weekend. So
Excellent.
I'll
Okay.
definitely give you guys what I thought of it, or a little bit of review next week. But
Okay.
definitely excited about that.
Nice.
From the preview so far, it looks better than the first season, which wasn't bad, but
Sure,
it
right.
wasn't as good as the Jessica Jones and Luke Cage that had come right before it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I haven't watched all of Iron Fist yet, but I've seen a little bit of it, and it is, it's not as good. I'm saying with air quotes, but it did. Daredevil came out and just kind of punched everyone in the face with how good it was.
Yeah.
right.
It's true.
And then Jessica Jones came around and just kind of stuck its finger in your brain and mixed it around, and you're like, okay, what just happened there? And then Luke Cage came out and was like, okay, well, the first half of that show was really solid, and the second half was good, but probably
Yeah.
should have been 3 episodes instead of 5. And then, Iron Fist just it had a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
And if it...
Well, and then the choreography wasn't as good as Daredevil was.
Yeah.
And stuff. And
Yeah.
That's the difference in choreographers for stage
well,
fighting.
you see those
Right.
Daredevil episodes, you're like, oh my god, I can't wait for Iron Fist. And then you get to Iron Fist, you're like, wait, this is supposed to be the one about martial arts,
Right.
and it's not as good as the blonde guy.
Yeah.
In the okay, there's something wrong here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they've got new choreographers and all kinds of stuff going on, and just from what I've seen in the previews, it looks dramatically different as far as that aspect of the show compared to the first one.
Cool.
And they're saying that the storytelling is supposed to be a lot better and everything for this new
Cool.
season. So it'll be interesting. I
And you
look
were
forward to watching
saying
it.
in one of our previous episodes that Typhoid Mary is the villain for the season, right?
Yes. Well, she's
Or
in
one,
it.
one
She's
of the, okay.
in it. We don't know.
Typhoid
like,
Mary
yeah.
is in the.
Yeah, we
okay.
don't, is she the
okay.
villain? Is she the girlfriend? Is she? Who knows what's
Well,
going
it's
on?
Typhoid
yet?
Mary, so probably all of the above.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know. I can't wait to see it. She's one of my favorite villains from
Yeah.
the Daredevil, Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Iron Fist, like that whole Queens Bronx set
Yeah.
of New York
Nice,
heroes.
okay.
So it'll be interesting. So and it'll be also be fun to see who else they bring into it, because Iron Fist has got just an eclectic group of rogues. So it'll be interesting to see who they bring in aside from her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because he doesn't have any of those villains that you're like, oh yeah, this is an amazing villain, but he's got a lot of them that are twisted and just different. So,
Right, and
it'll be
you get
interesting.
the Steel Serpent, which is basically the evil version of Iron Fist,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Sabretooth. Sabretooth came from Iron Fist.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know he's more known as a Wolverine villain now,
But he originated in
started
Iron
in Iron
Fist.
Fist 14, I want to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
The more you know.
Yeah.
yeah, which is interesting because he's part of the X-Men universe.
Right.
He originated in Iron like that.
Right.
Ugh.
Well, yeah, he definitely became a lot of characters. Like Mystique started in Ms. Marvel,
Yeah.
which is going to be a nice segue, but definitely became more of an X-Men villain.
Yeah.
But speaking of Ms. Marvel,
What's up with this Marvel?
so Ms. Marvel is the former code name for Carol Danvers, who's now Captain Marvel. And this week, we finally got set photos
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the movie. So,
Which made me more excited for it than I was before.
Oh, excellent.
I mean,
Excellent.
it's finally nice to see a full version of what the costume was going to look like in the film.
Yeah.
Because what's funny is that the moment that started dropping, I could hear all my cosplay friends in the distance going, "Finally," in like a deep, like evil voice of like, "I can now start crafting again." And then we won't see them till con, and they're gonna be like, panicking and sweating 24 hours before they're supposed to be walking through the con door because they're finishing the last stitch. Because cosplays are hard, But no,
Yeah.
I saw that and I was just like, that's a pretty badass looking costume that she's got on there.
Even the bad guys, they looked good too. Even though immediately as soon as it got released, everybody was comparing them to Piccolo from the Dragon Ball Z movie. But despite the fact that they look exactly like Piccolo, they
Right.
still look good.
That's amazing.
And so the bad guys are the Skrulls.
Yes.
Who do kind of just look like Piccolo.
Anyways,
So the fact that, hey, the movie versions of them look sort of similar, it's like, well, yes.
yeah.
But
and I was still secretly hoping because of who the bad guys are, that we're going to get a little bit of Fantastic Four nods.
that would be nice because we're getting the Skrulls and then Ronan the Accuser's
Even if they're
coming
not
back.
there,
and-
just a nod, just
Yeah.
like tongue in cheek, like
yeah. Especially with
That'd be nice.
the Disney Fox stuff all happening.
Even if it's just a 4 logo in the background, I'll be happy.
or just
Like,
somebody using
just
fantastic as a pun.
something, yeah.
Right.
Something.
Like the Fantastic car docked at a spaceport, I'd be good.
What if Super Skrull?
Super Skrull?
Oh, if he had the fire and the
Yeah.
that'd
So
be interesting.
okay, Stephanie's not in on this nerddom.
Nope, not at all.
So the Skrulls are shape-shifting aliens. They
Okay.
debuted in Fantastic Four #2 back in 1961.
Okay.
Pretty early on, I want to say like Fantastic Four 37 or something. The Fantastic Four ran into the Super Skrull, who gave up his ability to shapeshift in exchange for having all 4 powers of the Fantastic Four.
Oh.
So he could turn Rocky like the Thing, he could stretch out like Mr. Fantastic, he could set himself on fire like Human Torch, and he could turn invisible like the Invisible Woman.
Okay.
So, but this, if the Skrulls are part of, or if we're deciding that the Skrulls are not considered part of the Fantastic Four licensing, which went to
Yeah.
Fox, but the Fantastic Four are, can we use the Super Skrull in a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie before all the Fox Disney stuff is finalized?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's interesting.
Right?
I wonder
I
how
mean-
where that falls at.
I don't know.
I mean, technically the movie's wrapping up here soon because there's rumors now that there's a trailer going to be coming out here in like the next couple of weeks
Sure,
or so.
sure,
So,
right.
So the movie itself is already wrapping up, but of course, who knows who can trust trailers these days with the fact that, a lot of movies are actually making trailers purposely to go, oh, this is totally a misdirect to throw you guys off, but it's going to
Right.
get you interested in seeing the movie.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
then when you see it, you're going to go, wait, what?
Yeah.
Marvel especially has been doing that. Like
Oh,
with
God, yeah.
the Infinity War trailer, like, there was all kinds of stuff in there that they redid for the
Right.
actual
Yeah.
movie. It was
Right.
like, wait, Hulk wasn't there. Oh, but he was in the preview.
Yep,
So
yep.
it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. And
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm actually looking forward to that movie now a little bit more than I was before because I'm not a
Yeah.
gigantic. I know he's going to throw something at me for saying this. I'm not a gigantic Captain Marvel fan. That Captain Marvel
That's
anyway.
fair. That's fair. Listen,
But
we all
I'm looking forward to it.
We all have our specific nerddoms, and
Yeah.
just because I have every issue of Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel starring Carol Danvers doesn't mean I think you're a bad person for not being excited for this movie.
He's just a little bit disappointed.
My nerddom, I grew up with a different Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
My
no.
Captain Marvel said Shazam.
right.
and I'm over here in Star Wars land.
Right.
Hi.
No, I will say the set photos all look great. I don't have anything to complain about. It all looks like Marvel Cinematic Universe versions of the comic book
Yeah.
stuff, which is great.
Yeah.
I am
Aside from Thor 2, they haven't really done anything bad, so...
right. Yeah, and even Thor 2 isn't terrible. It's just isn't as good as the stuff
it's
that
got
came
Christopher
before.
Eccleston in it. It can't be that bad.
Right.
No, it can't be.
But I will admit I'm a little afraid of the Captain Marvel movie. Like, because I'm such a fan
Yeah.
of this character,
Yeah.
I'm a little afraid of getting a Michael Bay Transformers thing going on.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Right.
It's understandable.
I guess my advice would be to you and anybody else out there who's a big Captain Marvel fan. Even I'm talking both Captain Marvels here, whether it be Carol or it be Shazam over here. No matter which one it is, go into the film with an open mind that your hero is finally on the big screen.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get everybody I can to go see Aquaman when it comes out.
Right. Oh,
Everybody has
yes.
the worst misconceptions about Aquaman. Oh, he just talks to fish. No, he just talks to fish.
I don't care. I'm gonna go see it anyway because it's Jason freaking Momoa.
Well-
That's why the movie's going to do well because
Right.
Jason
Jason
Momoa
Momoa.
doesn't have a shirt on for 90% of the movie, so
Right.
it's
I
going to do well
mean,
no matter what.
Men and women are not complaining.
No, no.
And Aquaman does more than talk to fish. He's just Superman that talks to fish underwater.
Yeah.
Basically.
Right? Like, he does more than just talk
Yeah.
to fish. He talks to fish and throws cars around.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And creates tidal waves, and I mean,
Right.
you might say he talks to fish, but one of those fish is, like Cthulhu, basically,
Right.
the Leviathan.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean,
let's be fair here.
And hey, if we're comparing him to Superman, I mean, Superman causes a lot of destruction, but his destruction is, usually fixed within a couple of days. If, Aquaman threw a freaking tsunami at a villain, he may have just wiped out an entire town along with it.
That's true.
This is very true.
That's
This is
true.
very true.
Yeah.
Superman punches somebody above ground, in the middle of an open city. That shockwave is going to destroy buildings and do all kinds of things. Aquaman doesn't know to see. There's no buildings to destroy.
Yeah, he just knocks
That's
some
true.
fish out of their
yeah.
path. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Make some nice waves. Surfers are like, woo!
Speaking of Captain's Marvel, though.
Yeah.
Captain's Marvel?
I read an update about the Shazam movie.
Oh.
Black Adam will not be appearing in the
No, he
Shazam
will
movie. So I'm just going to read this quote directly.
Yeah.
Specifically, they did not want Black Adam to appear in the Shazam movie because both characters are so special, we didn't want to compromise either of them by ramming them both into the same movie. So that's why we made the decision to let Shazam have his own standalone movie and kind of launch him properly, and then we'll do the same for Black Adam. And so that kind of really freed things up. It allowed us to develop the right versions of both.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So
Yeah.
then maybe we'll get like a duo movie later, like the two of them?
Yeah, so it's not clear from this if that means that we're getting a Shazam movie and a Black Adam movie and then they're doing them together, or, hey, let's introduce Shazam first so you know who this character is, and then in the second movie we do Black Adam, the evil
okay.
version. So I don't know if we're getting a trilogy
They've
of...
had Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock, signed
Right.
on to be Black Adam for almost 10 years now.
Right.
He's been attached to that character and been like, yep, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. So,
I mean-
I think they're just kind of just testing the waters. And I think they kind of wanted to do this Shazam one first just to try to, change
Right.
the tone of a lot of what people perceive on DC and things
Yeah,
like that.
I definitely
Yeah,
agree.
for sure. Which now I'm imagining The Rock and Zachary Levi standing off against each other.
I think it's part
And
of the
I can't
reason they
imagine
gave
it,
him-
'cause it's like-
they pumped him up a little bit in that suit is because
Right.
when he
Well,
does
yeah.
stand across from The Rock, who can just wear a leotard and be that big.
Right, because The Rock already looks like a comic book character.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
He looks like Black Adam already.
Right.
Yeah.
What's going to be interesting is because they're going to have to do the Chris Evans thing, like in the first Captain America, where they made
Oh,
him
where they
tiny.
shrink him down?
They're going to have
Yeah.
to do that with The Rock.
Yeah, and even when The Rock was smaller, he was still 260 pounds.
Yeah, so it's just
This
like
is gonna be
what are
interesting.
they're just. I guess they're gonna have to get his buddy Kevin Hart to play him
Yeah.
as the Egyptian version of himself.
So when he was
That
smaller,
way-
he was Kevin Hart, and then he gets like injected with whatever happens
Well,
to him. and
more
then
like Chris Tucker, maybe. Just
Oh,
like
okay.
Yeah.
that lanky, skinny kind of. But
so
yeah.
he says Shazam, and then he turns into Kevin Hart.
Right. Chris Tucker's Shazam! That would be great.
Oh, that's a completely different movie now.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm going to tangent over here with some
Yeah.
more movie stuff.
Yeah.
So, I got a couple things here. First, Disney has announced officially that they're going to make a live-action Pinocchio.
Interesting.
Didn't they do that in the 90s?
We're not counting Geppetto.
Did Disney
No.
do it or did somebody else?
Oh, somebody else. Because
Somebody
there
else
was
did.
a Pinocchio movie starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
There was also a Pinocchio movie starring Drew Carey playing
Forgot
Geppetto.
about that. I forgot about the JTT one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. That may not have been
There's a
Disney. That
lot
may
of
have
things I
been.
tried to block out that JTT was
But no,
involved in. So.
I don't think this is Disney. I think this may have been like another. Well, this one is going to be Disney.
Right.
Those ones were a completely different company.
Okay.
Back then, but it sounds like it's going to be a live action Pinocchio. And I was watching this video where I had heard this news, and I sat there, listening to them as they were talking, and they brought up the fact that this may be the creepiest Disney live action film they're ever going to make, because. Not only are you going to have, aside from like the wooden boy aspect, which
That's creepy enough.
That's creepy enough, but
Yeah.
knowing Disney, they're going to make him look harmless and they're going to make him look friendly and fun, so that way when he does turn into a human, he doesn't look like drastically different from what he was.
Sure.
They might do kind of what they did with like Once Upon a Time, and they just make the guy look wooden,
Oh,
like
right.
actually made of wood, and then
Yeah.
you just hey, look, I'm real now. But the thing that they were pointing out that might be the creepiest part is the island.
Pleasure Island.
Pleasure Island, where the boys are turning into freaking donkeys.
While you were talking, I literally just wrote down on my note sheet here, Pleasure Island, because I wanted to talk about how terrifying that scene is.
That scene, there's a reason I haven't watched Pinocchio in over like
Hearing about
10,
this, I'm kind of
15
hoping they do some
years.
practical effects with this instead. Like, let's not do the computer stuff. Let's do some practical effects
yeah.
on it. Yeah, that's
Let's-
kind of what
let's-
I'd like to
Let's
see.
practically turn a wooden boy into a donkey.
Yeah.
No.
Snow.
I watched Pinocchio over and over again as a kid, and so the Pleasure Island scene, like when you're a little kid, you're kind of immune to a lot of things, but when you get older, you start noticing body horror a lot more.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't know what they're going to do with this. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little intrigued now.
Yeah, well, and the premise of Pleasure Island is, right, it's like it's all the kids go there to be naughty, and they are so naughty that they turn into literal jackasses, right? And in the original animated Pinocchio movie, they don't turn back.
They don't.
Like, Pinocchio escapes, and all of the other kids there are just stuck on Pleasure Island with
as donkeys.
Donkeys with their Stromboli and their terrible mishandlers and everything. And it's like, what happened to those kids?
I mean, maybe this will be like the sequel. Maybe Pinocchio's already human, and maybe he actually is going to go and save these kids. Who knows?
I mean, maybe.
Like, there hasn't been anything really confirmed from the fact that this is going to happen.
Right.
So this movie is going to happen.
Sure.
It's just whether or not, are we going to take the original film that we made way long time ago and just make it live action? Or are we maybe going to give this like a live action sequel where we maybe go save these kids? Who knows?
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
So,
right.
and then I'm also going to now tangent back to my other movie news. This was a couple weeks old. I would have said it last week, but we were all like, sick. But Matt Smith of Doctor Who, so I think the 11th Doctor, 12th Doctor.
that
Don't
sounds
get me.
right.
I'm not a Doctor Who fan, so I probably got that wrong.
11 sounds right.
11 sounds right? Okay.
Yeah, I have to know these things, so he's working a comic store.
And Dominic Monaghan, who he played one of the oh god, I can't remember the name. Hobbits. He played one of the Hobbits in Lord of the Rings, the original Lord of the Rings movies. Both of them have been confirmed for Star Wars Episode 9 as main character-esque roles.
Well, that's fascinating.
So not like, I don't know how main they're planning to talk here, like, oh yeah, they have like, a full scene just to themselves, or if they're going to be like around the same place where Billy Lord, Carrie Fisher's daughter, is, where it's like a main enough character where a main enough minor character where you see them on the sidelines in almost every scene.
My guess is that just because of his acting caliber and the fact that he's British, I have a feeling that they're going to be using Matt Smith as the new Imperial role.
He might be playing a role alongside Hux.
That would make the most sense, that because they killed off everybody in the last, so they've got to introduce some more Imperial element there. So it would make sense to have him, because he's definitely got the acting chops to be able to carry that role.
Yeah, he does.
And they kind of need another villain in there somewhere. I also read something else that people think he might be playing Thrawn, which would be absolutely amazing. But I don't know if they're going to.
Sorry, you made me like really happy.
into the like more current universe, or if they're just going to save him for the animated stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. He would be the perfect choice for that role.
You guys,
though, I think.
Stephanie just got so excited she's covering her face and shaking.
Like,
I can see the goosebumps
here's the thing.
from here.
So the thing is, though, I've always loved the character of Thrawn. Always have. This is like a quick side tangent. I've always loved the character of Thrawn, but I never really got into the books that he was introduced in. I knew he was a thing, and I knew he was one of the baddest Star Wars villains ever. When Rebels brought him in, it made him even more amazing and badass. He now has his own 2 books out, and if he were to come into the live-action series, and if Matt Smith was to play him, oh my god. It would be like my reaction to seeing Darth Maul at the end of Solo. Sorry, spoiler alert, but you should have seen it by now.
I mean, given the numbers it did, everyone probably did. They just didn't see it again.
Yeah, but
right.
I did.
Well, sure.
So, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. It's piqued my interest back a little bit to go see the next Star Wars movie, because I really kind of didn't care anymore after the last couple I watched. Matt Smith is enough of a name to maybe go, okay, with that, and they're bringing Billy D back, I might actually have to go see it now.
I mean, freaking Lando's coming back. We got to go see Lando.
He should have been back 2 movies ago, but I'm not going to get to that.
Hey, when one movie takes place immediately, like an hour after the last one, how quickly can Lando get there?
It's Lando. Like, really?
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, he doesn't have the Millennium
Fair.
Falcon anymore. So
It is a hard word to say.
He's had 20 years to get something just as good, though.
that's true.
There's
That's
other
true.
YT ships out there.
There's other
that
freighter
you know
ships.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
All right.
For sure.
He and old Rendar could have teamed up and gotten something going there.
It's
know,
true,
it'd be
yeah.
interesting. So.
And I'm going to have one last thing of film.
Andy just gave me a look like, wait, who?
Is that the Shadows of the Empire guy?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I know
Nice
that.
reference catch.
Yeah. Well, I know. Listen, it's not that I don't like Star Wars. It's that I don't like it as much as you guys.
That's fair.
It's fair.
But having worked in a comic store worked in comic stores for 6 of the last 10 years.
And hopefully played one of the best Nintendo 64 games that was ever
Sure.
released.
Yeah, I definitely played Shadows of the Empire on the 64. I don't know what you're. Yeah. And listen, it was the 90s-est Star Wars toy line.
Oh, yeah.
So I am aware of Shizor and Dash Rendar, and that's basically it.
Oh, Dash Rendar.
But yeah, that's the one between 5 and 6, right? Like
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know something. Listen, I know who Hammerhead is. So I know some of the Star Wars minutia, just not
everything.
Not everything.
Nice. All right. So I have one last thing of movie knowledge. It's a real quick thing, but so about 13 or so years ago, I believe, the actual ruby slippers that were used in the original Wizard of Oz went missing because somebody shattered the plexiglass, stole the shoes, and no one was able to find them. Well, the FBI found them. They found the shoes, and they've been returned to their original owner.
Did they find them by clicking their heels and saying "There's no place like home"?
You know, I thought the same
That's how they
thing.
got out of the place where they found them.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
no. What happened was they're holding the shoes and saying, "You're not in Kansas anymore."
There we go. Nice.
So
Yeah.
but yeah, no. So they found the shoes finally. So I thought that'd be interesting news, especially for anyone who's a big film buff like myself. And
Yeah, I mean, that's a piece of cinematic history that needs to be...
oh yeah,
It belongs in a museum.
so do you.
Man, so I've only really got. Well, I got a couple things. I can tag off some movie things. The New Mutants, which is an X-Men spinoff.
Yeah.
I literally just read this news about 10 minutes before we started recording, and it was posted about 10 minutes before that. So this is hot off the presses.
Oh.
Anya Taylor-Joy, who's one of the stars of the movie, she'll be playing Ilyana Rasputin, who is Colossus' little sister.
Okay.
She is actually very excited about the reshoots that they've been doing in this movie. The film was supposed to come out this past March, and it's been pushed back to February 2019.
I thought it was supposed to come out before then. Okay.
Yeah. A trailer had been released, and there was a date and everything, and kind of last minute, they're like, we're gonna hold off on this movie.
Okay.
Apparently, test screenings didn't go very well.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so they're reshooting the film, and the article I read was very short, but Anya Taylor-Joy did say, "Hey, with all of these reshoots, I'm actually very excited because this is now the film that all of us signed on to make."
That's awesome.
So yeah, something.
Now, do we know, is this Colossus from Deadpool's little sister or Colossus from the X-Men film's little sister?
Yes.
These timelines get so confusing.
I know.
I don't.
McElroy, Stewart, what's going on?
Yeah. It's Ilyana Rasputin. Her brother's Colossus. You probably get to pick which Colossus
Okay.
is her brother. I don't think it matters all that much.
Fair enough.
Her brother's Colossus. Which one? I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Each his own.
animated series Colossus.
There we go. Okay,
There we
okay.
go.
Which is basically the Deadpool Colossus.
Right.
I mean, really,
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
You know.
So.
The only other bit of news that I've got is totally off kilter, but sticks with the Marvel thing, I guess. Marvel Comics got the Conan the Barbarian license back
Yes.
from Dark
Sweet.
Horse, which means Dark Horse has lost yet another license,
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
which is to Marvel, in fact. They lost Star Wars a few years ago with the Fox merger. I'm sure they're going to lose Alien and Predator
Yeah,
and all
more
of the
than
things that
likely.
Fox owns. Last episode, we announced that they lost the Buffy license.
Yeah.
Somebody at Disney hates Dark Horse Comics, and I don't know who it is.
Well, I think it's just them kind of just bringing everything back home. I mean,
That
because a
might
lot
be
of that
that.
stuff got
It might be
sold
that more
off
than anything.
because of Marvel's situation in the 90s.
That's true.
You know, things like that.
That's very
so-
true.
It might be that more than anything.
Yeah.
So I don't. If Disney had a grudge with somebody, we would all know.
Yeah.
If they had a grudge with Dark Horse wouldn't exist anymore.
That.
But yeah, so starting in January, there's going to be a new Conan series. Jason Aaron, who has done, he's had runs on Wolverine and everybody. Like he's been at Marvel for the last decade, and he's worked on basically every X property. I think he had a Captain America run at some point. He did his indie
Done
comic
quite a bit.
Scalped. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's done a lot of stuff. He'll be writing it, and Mahmoud Asrar. I'm so sorry that I butchered your name. Who's a very good artist. He's had some X-Men runs that I've
Yeah.
read. They'll be bringing the first arc out. Esad Ribic, who did Jason Aaron's run on Thor, will be doing the covers for it. Isad Ribic also did the Secret Wars 2015 series. They're working that.
All right, cool.
So that guy will be doing the covers. So they will look properly metal and epic as
Nice.
Conan should. And Jason Aaron put out a tweet, and he was just like, "Yeah, this is a job that I was made to do or whatever." And I actually counted. There's a photo of the bookcase, and there are 32 Conan paperback novels, like the original Robert E. Howard novels.
Wow.
On that bookshelf. So
Well, so he's doing his research and his
he's
homework.
prepared.
Good.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask, like, well, are we doing like Conan comic books or Conan books? And that
Right.
That answers
So-
my
so
question.
I don't know if they're
he's
gonna
actually
be-
reading the source material,
Right.
and going from there.
Right. So I don't know if these new comics are going to be adaptations. I know some of Dark Horse's stuff a few years ago were adaptations of some of the Robert E. Howard novels. I don't know if they're going to be new original stories. I don't know.
Either way.
But either way,
it's new Conan.
I mean, yeah, I'm digging Dynamite's Red Sonja stuff right now, and Dark Horse has had the Conan license for so long that I'm kind of afraid to jump in.
Yeah.
So this is like a nice clean start, so I'm definitely going to be checking that out as well.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that'd be neat, man.
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing about that.
Yeah.
And the
I'll
only
bring
other
him
piece
in.
of news I got, more TV, but it kind of has to do with a movie star.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
They announced this last week that Henry Cavill has been cast as Geralt of Rivia for The Witcher.
Nice.
Huh. So Superman as the Witcher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something
That's
interesting.
interesting.
He's a big fan of the book series, has read it and everything. The
Okay.
casting director said that he actually auditioned for it quite a while ago, and they auditioned a bunch of other people, and they ended up going back to him because he
wow.
understood the character so well.
Okay.
All right.
So it'll be interesting
That's
to
helpful.
see.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. They didn't go off it like, yeah, you look like him, let's get you. They went, no, you get the character, we'll make you look like the character. So it'll be interesting to see how it does. There's been a little bit of blowback because, he's Superman, so
Right, right.
he couldn't be Geralt.
Oh, God
But,
forbid an actor play two roles.
Yeah, who knew? But I'm looking forward to it. I think
Yeah.
he's a fantastic actor. I think he's got the acting chops to do it. I mean, if you look at the stuff he's been doing since he was a kid, I mean, all the way back to when he was in Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh,
I
wow.
forgot he was in that.
Yeah, it was one of his
Oh,
earlier
God.
roles. He was
Okay.
maybe 17 or 18, something like that.
Yeah, he was young.
Yeah, and he was fantastic in that. I kind of always thought that proved him as an actor to me, being
Sure.
in that movie, especially who he was around through that entire movie.
Yeah.
Just with Cavill, everybody else. Like, I mean, he was around some big time.
Yeah,
some
for
people with
sure.
serious acting chops. So
For sure.
I think he's a great actor, and I look forward to seeing this. So I love the source material. The Witcher is fantastic. The books are great. The games are great. So
Yeah.
other than the short-lived series they did in the early 2010s, I think it was a Norwegian series. It was really bad.
Okay.
I'm not even
Sure.
aware of this.
You can Google it, and it's
All right.
It was not very well done.
Okay.
They tried though.
Like
Bless them,
a
they tried,
live
but-
action series of The Witcher?
Yeah, it was not very well.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Okay.
That's why nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
There you go. That's why.
Kind of like the that Captain America movie from the 70s that nobody wants to talk about.
The one where he had the motorcycle helmet
Yeah.
for him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
or the
good.
Dolph Lundgren Punisher that nobody ever wants to talk about.
The one that was so bad, Marvel decided that he couldn't wear the skull shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that
Okay.
stuff.
All right, well, there you go.
It's
All right.
there, and if you
Yep,
really
yep.
like the character, it's there for you to watch. But
Okay.
people want to forget about it.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to kind of follow a tangent of books. So I was watching, because I missed this earlier this week, I was watching the latest episode of the Star Wars show, which, Star Wars has their own YouTube channel show thing.
Yeah.
And they had Sam Witwer on. If you don't know who Sam Witwer is, he played Starkiller in the Force Unleashed video games. He's also voiced the Son in the Clone Wars, as well as Darth Maul in both Clone Wars and Rebels. And he voiced Darth Maul in Solo. Well, they had him on. They were talking about the whole cameo in Solo, but they also brought up something interesting that I thought would be kind of interesting to share. That at some point next month, Sam, his brother Michael Witwer, Kyle Newman, and John Peterson are coming out with a visual history book for Dungeons and Dragons called Art and Arcana.
Interesting.
That's cool.
So it's literally a visual history from the 1970s all the way till now of just all D&D.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it going to be like a lot of stuff from the old players' guides and dungeon master guides? And
Yeah,
stuff like that?
kind of
Okay,
just
all right.
kind of showing
Man.
like the difference of like, this is where we started, this is how we got here.
Yeah, like
Okay.
2.5, they had, good God, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different manuals and books, and some of the artwork in there was just breathtaking. Some of the stuff they did.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of the art stuff's going to come back for the book too.
Yeah, that's neat because there's a lot of stuff that you can't find that stuff anymore because it was literally like, oh, hey, we have this book about ninjas specifically for this edition of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
But only 100 people bought the book and you can't find it anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? The people that have it still like they hoard it. So
Right.
you know, getting that artwork is hard. So that's cool. I look forward to seeing that.
I heard Sam talk. It was interesting just hearing Sam talk about it because I love Sam and what he's done in the few roles that he's been in.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, this is kind of awesome. Like, I might have to go and buy this now just because your name is on the cover.
Yeah. What was that? The show that they did the American version of it that he was in with? He was a vampire and he was a roommate with a werewolf. And there was the ghost girl. Being Human.
Yes.
Being Human, yes.
Yes.
I was
that
like,
was a
I was talking an
fantastic
absolute blank because the only live action thing I can for some reason remember him in is Smallville, where he played Doomsday. So
yeah, that was.
Wow.
Yeah, he played Doomsday in Smallville, so that's the only like live action thing I remember him being in. But keeping on the Star Wars tangent, this is my last note. This is the last thing I have. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which is the Star Wars land that's coming to both Disneyland and Disney World. They have announced that they have a bartender for the cantina by the name of RX-24. So if you don't know who RX-24 is, he is the original pilot to Star Tours.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the pilot from Star Tours retired.
Is
became a
Paul
bartender.
Rubens going to be doing the voice again?
I don't know. The information I was hearing, because this is again when I was watching the Star Wars show. Thank you, Andy and Anthony, for giving me this information. Because like now I want to share it too.
Yeah. Not me.
Yeah.
Different Andy.
Yeah.
I know, not him, Andy.
Yeah.
Andy Gutierrez is her name.
Okay.
But no, so like they were talking about that, and I was just like, that's kind of really neat. And I know that not only you guys would like to hear that, but any of our fans who are big Disney as well as Star Wars nerds, who have ridden the original Star Tours before they did the revamp, would like to hear that he's still
many
around.
Fond memories of the Star Tours ride when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's
living
pretty
in
cool.
California
So
and going over there.
He's still around. He's still living. He's still there. So now he just got a new job. He just retired and opened a cantina.
That's fantastic. I really hope they get Paul Rubens to do the voice for it. That would be fantastic.
I hope they do too. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. So anyone else want to take something?
All
I know
right, we're about out of here. We got just a couple minutes left. Anybody else got any anecdotal, anything extra news here?
Well,
I
did notice this one little thing. Apparently, a sixth Die Hard movie got announced.
Yes, it did.
And it will just be called McClane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because this comes hot on the heels of Bruce Willis saying that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, he did say that.
the popcorn, everybody.
What is this? What is this stack of papers you have here, Josh?
We're going to have to probably extend this to another podcast because we've only got like a minute and a half here.
Okay.
And I have probably an
Notes.
hour's worth of information here.
Oh, God.
I will read just one anecdotal thing because you did bring that up with Bruce Willis declaring it not.
Yeah.
The person who wrote the movie said this. D'Souza cautioned that Willis may have been joking. Consider the venue, he said. It was a roast. The jokes were flying all night. Perhaps he was trolling the world and knew it would provoke a strong reaction to people online.
Well, there you go.
That's just an anecdotal thing, a little bit of visual evidence I have for you here. There's a Google for if you do, Christmas movies. It's, one of the top 10 on there.
What? Seriously?
IMDb's, top 10 Christmas or top 100 Christmas movies of all time. It's the second entry on there.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there on that one. That's absolute bullcrap.
No, that's actually true.
Visual references.
He's got the printout here.
There's an actual officially licensed book called hold on a second, I have it right here.
But guys, you need to understand, he legitimately actually printed this stuff out, and I'm staring at it right now, not believing.
I've got several pages here. There's a children's book. Oh, it's not a children's book. It's an adult-themed children's book called A Die Hard Christmas. That is actually, and this is what I got my brother for Christmas last year because it's a tradition in my house to watch Die Hard at Christmas. That it's an illustrated book that's set to, I believe it's the night before Christmas.
Okay.
That's the entire Die Hard script done to that poem and written in a children's fashion. So I have much more here to talk about how Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but we're going to have to save that, I think, for another show because we're out of time here. But remember, everybody has their opinion. You're all entitled to your own opinion. Unless you think Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, then you're just wrong.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm actually gonna do something for all of our social media friends out there. Remember, you guys can follow us at Atomic Monsoon on Twitter, Facebook. You can also email us at atomicmonsoon@gmail.com. Check us out on atomicmonsoon.com and of course Voice America Variety Channel. But the little tag that I'm going to do is I've got a challenge for you guys on Facebook and Twitter. Since these two, one says that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, the other says that Die Hard, and the other one says that Die Hard is, and I'm in here in the middle going like, Christmas movie to me is Rudolph. I want you guys to tell us, do you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie? If you say yes, please say why. If you say no, please say why. Please make sure that you do not extend the character limit. And be friendly, guys. Let's not make this. Don't actually start pulling the guns out. Let's actually be happy, be friendly about this.
We can make it simple. Hashtag Die Hard is Christmas movie. Hashtag Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
There we go.
You choose the hashtag, and then we'll next week when these two go on their debate, I'll reveal after the guns have been put away. Who won?
We want to know what you guys think. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Let us know at Atomic Monsoon on Facebook and Twitter. Hashtag Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Hashtag Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Hashtag I don't care. Die Hard is a great movie.
Hey, there we go. Either way,
we can all agree on that one.
Either way, it's an excellent movie.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Who wants to close us out?
I opened us, so I'll close us. That's it. We're closed. Go home.
Get off my lawn.
This has been Atomic Monsoon. I have been one of your hosts, Andy.
I've been another host named Stephanie.
And apparently I've been your lovely host, Josh.
Because he's so lovely.
All right, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll catch you next week.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.